defied the recommendation of Indian Army, who wanted to make sure that before these operations end, we have recovered all of Kashmir. He ordered a unilateral ceasefire in the hope that Pakistan is going to withdraw from the occupied parts of the state, maybe later on. When they refused to vacate from the occupied Kashmir, Nehru, in his wisdom, or I would say lack of wisdom, took the case to United Nations as we all know it. I think he expected, I shouldn't say it like a crybaby, okay, this guy has taken my toy, Pakistan has taken my land, and United Nations will do something and return that land to India. But international diplomacies don't work like that. Pakistan till today has never vacated that land. He took this case in January of 48, and after a few months of deliberations in United Nations, we got a resolution passed in United Nations asking Pakistan to vacate from the occupied lands of the state. Did they listen to United Nations? No. Now, Kashmiri Muslim population, pro-Pakistani elements will tell you, oh, Nehru, United Nations, international community promised us plebiscite that they will ascertain the wishes of Kashmiri Muslims. But the condition was, yes, that's true, but the condition was that before we do part 2 of United Nations resolution, part 1 has to be fulfilled, which Pakistan never did. Now there are 2 things I want to share with you. One is, this was not some kind of order from United Nations. It was purely an advisory. So it was either to be followed or not followed by the countries. That's number 1. Number 2 is, which is relevant as of today, that any resolution that's pending in United Nations for certain number of years, in this case for last 65, 66 years, that resolution becomes meaningless, saying obsolete. Pakistan raises the questions about United Nations, oh, India has not followed this, India has not done that. That's purely nonsense. Now coming back to 48, around that time, Nehru, I believe, personally having read many books, I believe he was too nervous in handling the Kashmir situation, did not allow Sardar Patel, and after that Sardar Patel passed away. He assured or reassured Kashmiri people and leadership led by Sheikhullah that time, that we are not going to be doing anything that will alter anything you Kashmiris stand for. And he came up with what's infamous Article 370. Very recently, just I think about 3-4 weeks back, a minister gave a statement in Indian Parliament that Article 370 cannot be even touched. Because if we do anything about this article, then the very foundation of accession of J&K state with India will alter and change, will become invalid. So I was thinking about, when I was watching it on the TV, I was laughing. These are our honorable ministers who lie so openly to the public. Friends, it's not so. Accession took place in October 47, and Article 370 came into effect on 27th November 1952, and actually became operative in 1954. So when Maharaja acceded to India, there was nothing like Article 370. So anyone who's telling you that Article 370 will alter the accession of Kashmir with India, they are lying. The day Article 370 was introduced, that was the day a constituent assembly in J&K state took the shape. And the day Constituent Assembly was created and the day Article 370 came into force, that was 17th November 1952, and that's considered to be, by the way, this is very important, you must know it, I'm sure some of you will know it. That is the Republic Day of my state. In other words, we have two Republic Days. One for India, rest of India, one for my state of Jammu and Kashmir. Someone has actually filed a writ petition in Jammu and Kashmir High Court asking the state offices, various departments, how come they don't celebrate Kashmir's Republic Day in a very big way. So after that, you know, the rest of it is mostly history. We have had ministers, we have had a number of chief ministers, but it was a very popular chief minister, Bakshi Ghulam Muhammad, if some of you will know it. He was the one who stopped the permit system we used to have in 1959. And in 1964, the nomenclature of various constitutional posts changed in Kashmir. That is, governor used to be called president, Sadri Riyasat. Same thing, the chief minister of that state used to be called prime minister of the country, state. So it was changed due to, not because of Indian mainstream politicians or because of Jawaharlal Nehru or his cabinet. It was changed because one of the great patriots, Dr. Shama Prasad Mukherjee, made a big sacrifice. Now we know Dr. Shama Prasad Mukherjee was a genius. Besides being founder of Jansanghh, forget about that part, he was a genius, a great nationalist. And he was the youngest person who became Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University. That's a world record. He was in first Nehru cabinet as a minister. He was a minister with Pandit Nehru. Yet, when he saw problems, two flags, two constitutions, special system, you have to have visa to go to Kashmir, you have to have entry permit, a written document. He said, how can it be possible within a country? Are we one country or a number of countries within what we call India? And you know, he went to Kashmir without permit. He was arrested. And in 2.5 months, he died in Srinagar. So these are the patriots who really have vision and foresight. They can foresee the things. What will happen to this country or to this nation, to this civilization or to this state 50, 60, 80 years from now. And that's called a true leader. If you ask a leader today, do you think you have any mantri who will sacrifice his mantriship? Because he also was a minister with Nehru. He was a union cabinet minister. He came out, then founded Bharatiya Janasangh that time, and subsequently that changed, and now what we have is Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, what was the map in 1947? What was the state like, the state that became our part, India's part in 1947? It was a beautiful state which had 5 provinces. Jammu province, Kashmir province, and Ladakh province. These 3 provinces are the provinces, part of that state which is still with us. Now, the other part is what they call Azad Kashmir, or Pakistan occupied Kashmir, what we call. That was 4th province, and Waziristan, Balwaristan, what we call. Sorry, it's Balwaristan, not Waziristan. That was biggest in area, and that's what is under Pakistan now. Now I'll tell you at present what we have. We have Jammu province, we have Kashmir province, we have Ladakh province. But Kashmir that acceded to us, we have only about 55%. About 45% plus is gone, missing. Out of that 45%, 10% is under China. And about 35% plus is with Pakistan. Now I will come back down to 1980s. Everything was peaceful in Kashmir. Let me confess it. When I was growing up, when I was born, I must confess we did not have violence. We did not have killings. No one had AK-47 and guns and would kill each other in the name of religion, would kill each other because Pakistan is telling you to create mayhem in Kashmir. No. In fact, 1965, when Ayub Khan sent in his terrorists to Kashmir, Kashmiri Muslims were the first people to get them arrested and handed those intruders to Indian security forces, police and the army. Same thing is true with 1947. When Punjab was burning, Bengal was burning, hundreds and thousands of people were getting massacred. People from Indian side were going to Pakistan side, and Pakistan side, Hindus and Sikhs were coming to our side. Kashmir was the only state, even Mahatma Gandhi said, I can see only ray of hope coming from Kashmir. We did not have rights, we did not have killings. And if that time Muslims wanted, they could have also killed us. It happened in Jammu, it happened in some parts of Mirpur, Muzaffarabad, what's now Muzaffarabad. But in Kashmir Valley, there was no killing. In fact, Sheikh Abdullah coined up a slogan in 1947, Jang Baaz Khabardar, Hum Kashmiri Hai Tayar. So that's how in 1947 and after, in that aftermath, Kashmir was saved. But unfortunately, I believe Indian leadership could not handle it. Unfortunately, from past to present, it gets messed up more and more. The situation is drastic because of betrayal by our politicians. Kashmir and Kashmir problem basically has consumed so many great personalities. And I would add, it has consumed many Pakistani leaders as well. Can you imagine the greatest of the great patriots, Lal Bahadur Shastri, whom we worship? He also got consumed and he had to pay through his life by signing Tashkent Declaration, because he had signed something in Pir Panchal region which Indian Army had won, and under Tashkent Agreement he had to give up. Now in 1989, I'll talk about the exodus of Kashmiri Hindus. It was actually bringing up arms and ammunitions were entering Kashmir very freely. Many of the youth from Kashmir province, Kashmir villages, districts had crossed over and gone over to Pakistan, and they were fully trained and came back as killing machines. The first thing ISI did, it became a priority. It became a priority for Pakistan's ISI to make sure that Kashmir is emptied of its nationalist population. That was my community. And it was done on priority basis. First act of terrorism was throw out, kill these people and let them get out of Kashmir. The worst genocide of Kashmiri Pandits. And unfortunately, most underreported, most unreported genocide in our recent times. Now, what will actually shock all of us if we think, okay, genocide took place, okay, ethnic cleansing took place in Kashmir, what did various governments we had from 1989 till today, did they even make an attempt to reverse the ethnic cleansing of this community? The answer is no. They are still rubbing salt to the wounds of the nationalist forces in Kashmir. And you don't have to take my word for it, you can just see, Google this information, it is there, including pictures how drastically our people were killed, our women were raped. And what was our fault? We constituted only 4% of the population in that state. And our history dates back to virtually mankind, when the man was born. We have contributed a lot to the world, to the humanity, to the Indian ethos, and to the Indian civilization. And what we got in return was that our community had to spend last 25 years in refugee camps. No one came to our rescue, and I do not know the future, what future holds for our community, whether we are able to go back to Kashmir or not. Now many people, and in the newspapers you'll read, now there are some, towns will be created. Maybe apartment complexes will be built. But think rationally, my dear friends. The situation, primary objective of resettlement of Kashmiri nationalists and Hindus should not be their return, should be secondary. The primary should be, are we able to reverse the Islamization that has taken place extremely in Kashmir Valley? The answer is no. When there was Exodus in 1990, I will share with you some of the slogans. Yahan kya chalega? Nizam-e Mustafa. That is, Kashmir mein kya chalega? Nizam-e Mustafa. This was happening when Indian establishment or leaders of that time, they were sleeping. Pakistan se rishta kya? La ilaha illallah. Afghanistan se rishta kya? La ilaha illallah. Now some of the politicians want to send these helpless Kashmiris back to the same kind of atmosphere even now. In fact, very recently, I'm talking about just last few days. 2 days back, Hurriyat leader Jilani had a huge, massive public meeting in a village, nearby village, Tral. Let me tell you what were the slogans. Hafiz Said, you know Hafiz Said, Hafiz Said, who was the mastermind of Bombay carnage. Hafiz Said ka kya paigam? Kashmir banega Pakistan. This is only 3-4 days old. Then you saw Masrat Alam's slogans about 2-3 weeks back, when he went to Kashmir, Srinagar airport to receive his Hurriyat guy. What did they say? Same thing. Meri Jaan, Pakistan, Pakistan. These were the slogans only. This is, I'm talking about when we have BJP, PDP coalition government in Kashmir. At least part of that government, 50% is supposed to be nationalist government. Now I do not know, and I don't know what these politicians are thinking of. We'll make a building, we'll have a township, and then Kashmiri Pandits will go, and then we'll give them 30 lakhs, 50 lakhs, whatever. It is the environment. You have to create an environment which is conducive to Indianness. Most of these mantris, ministers, mufti saids, MLAs, even they are not safe. Truth is that even they are not safe. Forget about every Joe. They get directions from across the borders, from Pakistan. Do this, do that, and whatever suits them. Now I want to add something about Article 370. I want to tell you, because my wife is not a Kashmiri. So we have this article, this big wall of separation. It gives me right of dual citizenship. Like anyone who is born in India automatically becomes Indian, right? But he does not automatically become citizen of J&K state because of this Article 370. Now me, I'm born in Kashmir, I'm Kashmiri, I'm a green card holder of Kashmir, as well as I'm an Indian passport holder. What this Article 370 does, it denies right to settle in Kashmir. It denies you the ownership of anything in Kashmir, and only people who have certified green cards, that's in Kashmir, the government calls it state subject. We got to have state subject certificate to be a Kashmiri. So anyone who marries a non-Kashmiri, any male men, their wives automatically become state subjects of Kashmir. This is reverse. Any girl who marries a non-Kashmiri or outside of Jammu and Kashmir, she loses the property rights. Even rights of inheritance in Kashmir. And we still think that we have created an atmosphere for last 67 years and adopted this state and loved this state and made that state as part of us. The answer is no, we have not. We have actually created more barriers. My wife is a Kashmiri citizen. Someone else born in Delhi, Punjab, or Gujarat. Oh, no, you can come. Please come and visit us as a tourist. But after a few days, once your money is over, you spend your money, you go back wherever you came from. These are some basic things. We don't have to be necessarily becoming, card holders of this ideology, that ideology, or whatever. We have to know the basic truth, basic facts. Basic facts are that government of India, right from Nehru, and it continued. The drift continued and continues now. We have not been able to stop that drift. Now I will touch for a few minutes. We are very curious. We all know what was happening in the elections and all that. And then I don't know if we are very hopeful. Then God bless all of us. God bless America, India, Kashmiris, Jammu people, other people, to shower us with something peaceful resolution. Now we had elections lately. Before that, we all know that most of the time, Kashmir, J&K state had government one way or the other run by Congress Party of India, which is a national party. So BJP has just entered 2 months back, 3 weeks back. During the elections, campaigning took place. We had two major all India parties, Congress Party of India and BJP. Good. They contested elections in a big way. BJP for the first time ever had candidates in all 87 seats. Great. We had two regional parties, PDP and National Conference. Let's dissect a little bit, spend little time on their manifestos. The first regional party, National Conference, told its voters that you have to vote for us. We are going to give you greater autonomy. Not bad. It was still within India. Autonomy within India. More freedom, more autonomy, more autonomous issues, structure, but within India. National Conference said Article 370, like this article has been, by the way, exploited by everyone. National parties, regional parties, pro-Kashmir parties or pro-Jammu parties, it has been exploited. National parties will tell you, it was in the manifesto of BJP in Lok Sabha, ये तो निकालना है बस खत्म. It's our promise to you. Then in state elections, the promise was not there, but they said we are going to debate on it. Great. Nothing wrong in it to start a dialogue somewhere, start the process somewhere. So it was exactly opposite what National Conference said and what PDP said. PDP guys said, oh, Article 370, abolishing, our dead bodies. National Conference and PDP said, we need only Muslim chief minister. Don't these guys, these Jansingi guys know that Kashmir is a Muslim majority state? So these were, election issues in J&K state. National Conference leadership went a step further. Hey, agar tum humko vote nahi doge, you'll be ruled by Nagpur. RSS guys will come and change the demography, make you do this, make you do that. So you have to vote for us. But the worst thing what Please do not believe me. You can Google the manifesto of PDP as a political party. You will have second thoughts if election commission is really working in India. You will come to this conclusion, how was this manifesto even allowed to become official document of a political party which is now in power along with BJP? Their objective is self-rule. Now what is self-rule? I don't know how many of us understand what we mean by self-rule. Self-rule is virtually independence from India. What self-rule means is that you will have complete freedom in Kashmir. You will include Pakistan part of Kashmir also. And your assembly will be, number of members in the assembly will increase, 20 more. You are going to include people from what they call Azad Kashmir and what we call Pakistan occupied Kashmir. And it will be called Greater Jammu and Kashmir. Greater Jammu and Kashmir with its own laws. And the worst thing, and it's public, it's not that I'm saying, Mufti Muhammad Saeed's party manifesto, you can document it, jkpdp.org. And in various public meetings also they said, we will allow dual currency. That means in Kashmir, you will have Pakistani currency, you will have Indian currency, both of them. He was going to repeal Indian Services Act. That means no one IAS, IPS and all these allied servicemen can go and serve in Kashmir. They will have their own Kashmir-centric services, rules and regulations. Then the third one was he was going to bring back, change the nomenclature, and he demands abolishing of articles, various articles of Indian Constitution, namely 256 others, which empower central government to send in the governor, impose governor's rule, or dismiss governments. Now, politics and politicians, they can make strange bedfellows. We have a nationalist government, party, joining hand with party that stands for self-rule. Theoretically and practically, it's a contradiction by itself. But we still wish them all the best to see what good they can bring to the people of that state. Now the manifesto of Congress, they are everywhere. They are here, they are there, so we need not waste time on that. Now we have an assembly. The first act of Mufti Saeed as chief minister, you know what he did. He thanked Pakistan, Hurriyat, the separatists for allowing peaceful elections in Kashmir. That was the first step. Second step of the cabinet, of which BJP is also part. They cannot absolve themselves that we are not part. Oh, mujhe pata nahi tha. No. Was to release Masrat Alam. Credit to Congress, National Conference government, he was under arrest for a number of years prior to that. So these are very bad omens. Everyone talks about development, but I think I'll stop here. I'm sure someone will ask me that question and I'll elaborate more. Because I don't want to keep on talking too much on Kashmir issue. It's like very complicated. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.